What if I told you that the signs of an aging loved one nearing the end of life are often there long before we realize it? Many people believe that death in old age comes suddenly, but in reality, the body gives quiet warnings, sometimes months, even a year in advance. The heartbreaking truth is that these signs are often overlooked, dismissed as nothing more than normal aging. It's only in hindsight that families recognize the clues that were there all along. But by then, it's too late to prepare, too late to make those last moments truly meaningful. As someone who has worked closely with elderly individuals and their families, I've seen how powerful it is to recognize these signs early. It allows you to provide the right care, treasure precious time together, and most importantly, ensure your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 key signs that often appear in the final year of life. Some of them might already be happening before your eyes, but you may have brushed them off. Others might seem minor, but actually reveal the body's slow decline. Stay with me until the end. Understanding these signs can help you prepare, both emotionally and practically, for what lies ahead. Because when you know what to look for, you won't be caught off guard. Instead, you'll have the opportunity to make every remaining moment count. Have you ever noticed an aging loved one losing weight rapidly, almost as if they were shrinking before your eyes? This isn't just a natural part of getting older. It's often one of the earliest and most telling signs that their body is struggling to sustain itself. As a specialist in geriatric care, I've seen time and again how significant weight loss signals an internal shift that many people overlook. When the body starts absorbing fewer nutrients, muscle mass declines and digestion slows down. Weight loss becomes inevitable. At first, it may seem subtle: clothes fitting looser, a diminished appetite, or meals left half finished. But over time, it leads to frailty, increased fall risk, and a weakened immune system. Many families make the heartbreaking mistake of urging their loved one to just eat more. But the reality is that their body no longer processes food the way it once did. So what should you do? Instead of pushing large meals, focus on nutrient-dense, easy-to-eat foods. Ensure they feel comfortable while eating, and most importantly, recognize that this stage is about quality of life, not quantity of food. A compassionate approach, tailored to their changing needs, can make all the difference in their final months. What if I told you that constant exhaustion in an aging loved one isn't just about getting older? It's a quiet signal from their body that something deeper is happening. As someone who has worked closely with end-of-life patients, I've seen how extreme fatigue is one of the most profound yet misunderstood signs that the body is preparing for its final stage. This isn't the usual tiredness that improves with rest. It's a deep, unshakable exhaustion that makes even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Getting out of bed becomes a challenge. Conversations feel draining, and activities they once loved now seem impossible. Why does this happen? As organ function declines, the body redirects its energy toward essential survival functions. The heart doesn't pump as efficiently, circulation slows, and muscles receive less oxygen, making movement and even staying awake a struggle. This leads many seniors to sleep more, withdraw from social interactions, and seem less engaged with the world around them. Not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the strength. For families, it's painful to watch a once vibrant loved one fade into exhaustion. It's natural to encourage them to stay active, to push through it. But the truth is, forcing activity won't help. What they need most in this stage is understanding, patience, and comfort. The space to rest without guilt, the reassurance that they are loved, and the dignity to live their final days at their own pace. Have you ever sat across from a loved one and realized they're there, but somehow they feel distant? It's one of the most painful experiences for families, watching someone who was once sharp and engaged slowly fade into confusion and withdrawal. As a specialist in elderly care, I've seen how these subtle cognitive changes can appear months, even a year before the end of life, and they're often misunderstood. Forgetfulness becomes more frequent, conversations feel disjointed, and moments of clarity come and go like flickering candlelight. They may struggle to follow discussions, forget familiar faces, or lose track of time in places they once knew by heart. But what's even more heartbreaking is their emotional retreat. The world becomes overwhelming, too loud, too fast, so they withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the energy to keep up. Families often try to pull them back, encouraging more engagement. But the truth is, this is the body's way of preparing for a transition. Instead of forcing conversations, the best gift you can give is patience, presence, and peace. Speak gently, offer reassurance, and cherish the quiet moments together. Even when words fade, love is still deeply felt. Have you ever noticed that a loved one who once rarely got sick now seems to catch every little infection and takes much longer to recover? This isn't just bad luck or seasonal illness. It's a powerful signal that their immune system is growing weaker, struggling to defend and heal itself as the body enters its final stage. As someone who has worked closely with elderly patients and their families, I know how heartbreaking it is to watch these once minor health issues turn into persistent battles. Frequent infections, pneumonia, urinary tract infections, slow-healing wounds are not just isolated problems. They are warning signs that circulation is slowing, the body isn't delivering enough oxygen to tissues, and its natural defenses are shutting down. What's even more alarming is that these infections don't always present as we expect. Instead of a fever or obvious discomfort, an elderly person might just seem more tired, confused, or disinterested in food. Many families assume this is just part of aging, but in reality, it's the body quietly signaling a deeper decline. So what can you do? Instead of focusing solely on aggressive treatments, shift toward comfort and care. Keeping the skin clean and moisturized, ensuring proper hydration, and creating a calm, stress-free environment can do more to improve their quality of life than another round of antibiotics. At this stage, it's no longer just about fighting illness. It's about easing their journey with love, dignity, and understanding. Have you ever noticed a loved one's breathing becoming slower, more shallow, maybe even pausing between breaths? It's a haunting change, one that often signals the body's final transition. As a specialist in end-of-life care, I've seen how shifts in breathing and circulation can be some of the clearest signs that a person is nearing the end of their journey. Their breaths may become irregular, rapid one moment, then barely noticeable the next. Some experience Cheney-Stokes respiration, a pattern of deep breaths followed by long pauses, which can be unsettling for families who aren't prepared for it. Circulation also weakens. Hands, feet, even the nose and ears may feel icy to the touch. The skin can turn pale, bluish, or mottled as the heart prioritizes blood flow to essential organs. These changes aren't random. They're the body's way of conserving energy, signaling that it's slowly letting go. For families witnessing these changes, the instinct is often to act, to try and fix things. But this stage isn't about medical intervention, it's about comfort. Keeping the room cool, adjusting their position, and simply being present can make all the difference. In these moments, what they need most isn't more treatment, it's peace, dignity, and the quiet reassurance that they are not alone. What if you could recognize the signs that a loved one was nearing the final stage of life, before it was too late to prepare? The truth is, the body often gives us quiet warnings in the year leading up to death, but too many families miss them, only realizing in hindsight what was happening. As someone who has spent years guiding families through this difficult journey, I know how painful it is to watch these changes unfold. But I also know that understanding these signs isn't about fearing death. It's about being prepared for it. From significant weight loss to extreme fatigue, cognitive decline, frequent infections, and changes in breathing, each of these signs tells us that the body is gradually slowing down. And while it's natural to want to fight against this decline, to encourage more eating, more movement, more energy, sometimes the kindest thing we can do is listen. Instead of focusing on prolonging time, we can focus on making that time meaningful, cherishing conversations, creating comfort, and ensuring dignity in their final months. If you've noticed these signs in someone close to you, take a deep breath. You are not alone. Many families have walked this path before, and while it's never easy, knowing what to expect can help you navigate it with strength, patience, and love. Because in the end, it's not about how much time we have, it's about how we spend it.